Hello Tokusatsu community, and welcome back to my SODO Sunday series here on the Tokusatsu Store YouTube page. That's right, we are putting this on the YouTube page again, so it's been a long time since we've done that. I think it was all the way back in season 1 or 2 that we did that here. And this is the debut episode of season 5 of SODO Sundays, which will be, pretty much to exist to cover the Revice stuff that we're going to be getting over the course of the next year. But before I begin here, I do want to just let you all know that this will be the final season of SODO Sundays. So after 5 years of working with Jeremy over at Toku Toy Store, I've loved doing this series, but it's just over the years, I've just become really busy with other projects and everything, and I figured if I could take one thing off of my plate, it would be this. So I really like this series. I'm going to keep doing it for the next year, but this will be the final season of SODO Sundays. So let's go ahead and kick off season 5 and let's make it a good one. So to kick off this final season of SODO Sundays, of course, we have last week and this week's SODO news to discuss here, and we got a lot of interesting ones. We have brand new SODO figures for all 3 of the Reiwa era Kamen Rider shows, so the 01, Saber, and of course, Revice. So let's go ahead and start off with what they did last weekend. Last weekend was, for the most part, Saber's final episode in terms of the story. Now the actual show wrapped up this weekend with kind of a little special wrap-up episode, teaser for Revice kind of thing. So there was SODO figures last week for Saber, but we did discuss last time on SODO Sundays that they were done revealing Book 10 because Book 10 just came out in Japan, so there's no more slots left and there's not a Book 11. But they revealed 2 brand new Saber figures last weekend, and they were being all mysterious with it. They're like, how are we going to release these figures? It's going to be in Revice's first set. That's almost a guarantee. I mean, I get that they're trying to hype it up and everything, but it's pretty obvious that that's where they're going to be. But enough dodging it. What are the figures? Storius. Kamen Rider Storius. So the last time we did SODO Sundays, we talked about Storius's Megid form. So, his monster form and everything like that, which is awesome. And that's in Book 10. But, of course, he was the final villain of Kamen Rider Saber, and when he transformed into Kamen Rider Storius, which is basically just a retool of Kamen Rider Solomon, which we don't have yet. So, kind of interesting about that. We, had heard a couple months ago that Solomon, he was taking some time, there were some problems or something, so Solomon got delayed. So we still don't know when Solomon is going to happen, other than the fact that they are going to do it eventually. But now we're going to get Storius first, which came after Solomon, which is just weird. But yeah, so here's Kamen Rider Storius here. Obviously, he is a remold, and it's actually a brand new mold of the Kashin body from the Geo and 01 lines. So, they didn't just reuse it, they completely remolded it. I think they did take the cape, though, from the King Durian Premium Bandai Gaim figure, which is accurate to the show. That's the cape that he has, and I think that they did say that they used that piece because it was already there for them. So, yeah, I think it looks really good. I like both Solomon and Storius' suits quite a bit, so it's cool to actually get figures of them because no other line is going to do figures of those 2 guys. And then continuing with Saber stuff, because there's still a bunch of little Saber things that they still need to check off. And the next one that they're doing is the Superhero Senki form, which is from, the movie Superhero Senki. So this is a fusion form between Kamen Rider Saber and Zenkaiser from Zenkaiger. And so it's, for the most part, a repaint of Kamen Rider Ghost's Tokon Boost form, ironically enough, interestingly enough. And the helmet is a remold/repaint of the Dragonic Knight helmet from Kamen Rider Saber. So it's really cool to get this form here in the SODO line. I think it looks really great. They had it posed next to the Yudo figure, although they had the Yudo figure standing on some stairs because the Yudo figure is a little smaller than SODO figures. But yeah, it's just kind of cool to get something else Sentai in the SODO line, following when we got the Rekka Daizanto earlier this year. So it's just fun whenever that happens. That's it for Saber figures, but we actually did get 2 brand new 01 figures. So this was obviously going to happen at some point. This past week, the new Vulcan and Valkyrie V-Cinema movie came out, and of course we had seen months ago the Lone Wolf and the Several Tiger Valkyrie form in that movie. And so now that the movie's out, they are ready to reveal the SODO figures for the 2 of them. So yeah, they look really good. I mean, these are V Cinema forms, V Cinex forms, so they are, repaints, remolds, all that stuff. So like the Lone Wolf form is basically just a repaint / slight remold of Ichigata or Arc Scorpion. They both were the same kind of suit, so there's that. And then Valkyrie's form is a remold, repaint of her Lightning Hornet form. But yeah, these work. I like these a lot. I like the forms. Of course, it's just funny to see 01 back here again, but it's not like these are a surprise. This was obviously going to happen at some point. And they're including some extra accessories. So they're giving you a pointing hand, the We Will Destroy You pointing hand for Kamen Rider Metsubo Jinrai, as well as Hirobi's katana that is used by Kamen Rider Metsubo Jinrai. So you get an unsheathed version, one where the sheath is attached to his hand, and then one where it's like being like slid back in. So that's really cool. I like when they do those little details and extra things like that. They are also going to be including a new accessory for Primitive Dragon, specifically for the sword driver. So this is going to be a new sword driver with a peg on it that has the giant like claw hand that like reached out when he was still like in his berserk mode. So I always like when they go back and add little accessories to older figures, and this is no exception. So it looks pretty cool with these new Saber figures. And yeah, so that's it for Saber and 01 stuff, but since it is the first episode of Season 5 and a new show is about to start, of course, every year we get this. They were not ready to officially fully reveal it yet, but here is a little teaser image for Kamen Rider SODO Revi. So, not Vice yet, just Revi. It's kind of hard to make this out of, what new different engineering techniques they have implemented this year, but obviously, SODO is continuing for a 5th season in a row. And I'm not surprised that it is. I'm happy that it is. It gives us something to talk about, and it gives us opportunities to get those extra 01 and Saber forms, since that will keep going in Revice's line. So, but what's interesting though, is that technically we don't know if every 01 and Saber form we've seen is in the first Revice set, but if they are, there's like pretty much just room for Revi and Vice to finish off that set, because we're already pretty packed already, which is just kind of crazy. And because we haven't even seen the new rider yet, so officially in SODO. So yeah, that's all there is for this season premiere of SODO Sundays. Thank you all for watching. As always, you can follow me on Twitter at LiverMangerKey or at LightningFigPR. And of course, you can see me also on the SODO Pop Podcast, the Geek Each Week live show, and yeah, all over the place in the Tokusatsu community. So until next time, I'll see you all later. Tokusatsu forever.